Dear friends and members of the KITION Planetarium Observatory, welcome to another online science cafe. On behalf of me and my team, we wish you season's greetings and thank you for joining once again and watching our online science cafe either live or from YouTube. The theme for this science cafe is related to the best celestial events that will occur in the night sky on the year 2024. And we are going to announce the preliminary results of our Gemini's meteor shower research. Also tonight, we have two very, very special friends and colleagues and scientists, of course, all the way from Mexico, from the University of Sonora in Mexico. And our guest speakers is Professor Raul Perez-Enriquez and Professor Julio Saucedo Morales. He will join us in half an hour approximately. And they will talk about the forthcoming total solar eclipse in April 2024 that will be observable, the totality will be observable from Mexico. And also they are going to talk to us about the very famous Antikythera mechanism and the cooperation with Dr. Xenophon from Capodistria University of Athens and what they have developed there in Mexico. They will reveal, of course, I believe, some pictures, and yes, we're more than eager to see them. Alexander, please start with this best celestial events. Welcome, Raul, and we will welcome Julio soon.
Thank you, George. I will be waiting for my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for all the guests who joined. And please feel free at the end and stay until the end to have a nice discussion and debate related to the presentation.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to make a short summarization about what happened at the KITION Planetarium and Observatory in the year, which is not finished yet, few weeks left around it. So let's start with events of this year. And one of them was, we invited at the beginning of the year Artem Mirgorod because of he sent one picture after another of his proceeding with images. He took images of planets and deep sky objects, and his works were so nice that he made a science cafe whole program about processing with images. And you see at the top how it looks when the picture was taken, and at the bottom the result after this process. Then we had, I would not say everything what we have, I just emphasize more or less interesting cornerstones of what we got. And there was an International Asteroid Day on the 13th of June, and that day we had interesting discussion. Max Verevkin, he presented discovery, real discovery in processing of observations, testimonies of observations when people say that they observe that fireball flying there, on that fireball flying here, and so on. And based on many thousands of such observations, we found out that they tend to say, for example, they observe at azimuth 100 degrees, but they tend to say that no, it was closer to south. And same with north. For example, they observe it at 300 degrees, in fact, but they used to say, no, it was at another position. So we found out that there is this unintentionally, but all thousands of people do it, moving of real position of fireball flash, for example, to south and north direction. It doesn't have any explanation till now, but anyway, we are dealing with it and we are proceeding with this data. So that was made a report at Science Cafe at our KITION Planetarium and Observatory meeting. And Perseids observations, they were a lot during last year, past year actually, it's still till now, yeah. And you see at International Astronomical, at International Meteor Organization, how many observers all over the world participated in it. And there were some from Cyprus, from our place where we are from KITION, from Duck Place next to us in mountain area. And these observations brought, we might show that we have good contribution to the International Meteor Organization database. Unexpectedly to everyone, but it always happened. So, but this year, this time we had very bright fireball on 21st of August, which flight over Cyprus, and this is a camera record of this fireball during 12 seconds. We could see the long trace of it, of the fireball at flight into the north of Cyprus. So it's one more reason to make records of testimonies collected by people. And it was announced on our Science Café on 29th of August. Actually, that moment on 29th of August, there were so many cornerstone events announced. It's worth to watch it all. There was blue supermoon and Saturn opposition. It was on 31st of August, and that day at our premises, a lot of public visitors attended it and observed with telescopes both events, the supermoon in one telescope and the Saturn in opposition with bright rings at another.
We have to mention here that we were 3 times fully booked in English language, in Greek language, and Russian language.
Yeah, there were a lot of people, yeah, indeed. And our Hall of Fame, I want to show, name it like this. It was the main results which we got at the KITION Astronomy Academy. The first Cyprus representation at International Olympiads with something, not just diploma of participant, started in 2018 in Olympiad in China, when Khracha Zakharyan brought honorably mentioned diploma. It was the very first honorably mentioned, not just participant. What does it mean, in fact? Out of 100% of all participants, 2/3 got honorably mentioned. So something better than just to participate. And 1/3 got one medal diploma. The next achievement was obtained by Stelios Ikalidis, and again he studied at our academy. It was in 2021, and he made a talk about the first and hopefully only global electoral competition, because of that time there was a pandemic all over the world and people participated online in this Olympiad. And Ara Magdisyan, this year he brought gold medal. So our achievement continued, and it was really interesting and important. And again, this news came in August, so one more reason to watch the August Science Cafe record. World Space Week in October, it gathered all our Cyprus analog astronauts, and we had guest speaker Dr. Dr. Agata Kaladzechik, who gave an interesting talk about her center, Analog Astronaut Training Center. And let's come now to Geminids meteor shower. So this is one of photos taken there, and it's Geminids this year. So let's discuss what happens at time. First of all, we had really perfect conditions. There was no moon, and the only thing what was required is the good weather. And weather was not good for a few days before this moment, and I, let's say, cross my fingers to think, okay, let it be better than now. At least during many years, we had constantly thunderstorms exactly on maximum of Geminids. But some years we had, sometimes we have good weather. So this time it was good weather together with perfect conditions of the moon. The moon did not disturb at all. And we, at our meeting, which we held before going to observations during maximum night of maximum, we discussed that there was radiant of Geminids itself. This is a slide from our program. So here it is, Geminids themselves. And meanwhile, 2 days before, there was maximum of another meteor shower, which was presented by 2 radiants from comet Virtanen. They are very slow meteors, and there was chance that we may observe them as well. So that's why we put to keep an eye on this. Actually, you may say, why? How is it possible that it happens that 2 meteors, 2 meteor radiants are coming from one parental body? Something similar happened already. It was 100 years before, and we and KITION Planetarium Observatory have a discussion about it. It was Tunguska meteorite, let's say another way, Tunguska event, and it is its radiant based on testimonies of observers was here next to Orion belt, and simultaneously at that same period we have Beta Taurids meteor shower with maximum practically just in 1 day difference, and its parent body is part of comet Encke. So you see the radiant of Beta Taurids somewhere here, and Tunguska event radiant is here. So again, we have expect from one parent body 2 different radiants. So it's not so unexpected now as we see. Our observations were conducted at Dark Place in Cyprus, and here I want to say a few words about how it was. We made visual observations, and we conducted observations with cameras. They should be pointed in any directions, or maybe by luck they will catch something. So here you may see tracks of stars because of these tracks, trails of stars, because of their curved a bit to top, and this curved a bit to bottom, and this is horizon. It means that we have to the north celestial pole direction here, and here to south celestial pole. As a result, there we don't have curve, it is celestial equator. And this immediately tells us that here we have Orion belt, because of delta of Orion is practically precisely on celestial equator. So these 3 stars, these 3 traces are from Orion. So they point to Sirius, obviously, in this direction. So this bright line is from Sirius. And of course, that's what's left is Betelgeuse and Rigel, and all the rest are easy to understand where are they. This trace is of plane because of every few seconds it sends light, and that's why it's not steady trail, but just a line of dots. Okay, let's come closer to our picture with beautiful meteors. You may see 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Here is again, we have Orion belt. Distance between these stars is almost 3 degrees. And because of we have scale, we may say that the whole trail of Delta Orioni was 8 degrees, which should mean that exposure was about 32 minutes. George may say more precisely because of it was his camera at that time. So anyway, we have this. Now you might say, actually, that's what really interesting. This very meteor was observed visually as well. It was not just caught by camera, and its brightness was expected to be -1, at least the way how I saw it. I did not catch it during session of observations, but just side observation told me that it should be -1. And here you see that it has practically the same brightness as this trace trail, and this trail has brightness 4.4. Question why? The brightness -1 of Geminid is the same on picture as brightness of trail of a star. The difference is because of this trail collect 32 minutes photons coming from the star. And here we have part of a second coming from a luminary, which is 100 times, about 100 times brighter. So, and these photons are spread on larger area than from a star. So that's the only reason why bright meteor and only bright meteors are visible on photos, because of the sensitivity of photo is not very large. So anyway, we got 4 nice meteors in this photo. Generally, at the moment, actually data coming every time constantly. We have at the moment observers from all over the world, even from South Hemisphere of Geminids, and from Cyprus we already register our observations. So together with many observers in Europe, we have some observer from Cyprus. So I think some more will come soon. So Geminids, it was predicted that they will be visible at evening of December 14th, universal time, and indeed it happened. So it happened practically like it was expected. But you may see that zenith per hour rate 60, which means high activity, was during 24 hours, which means that during the whole rotation of the Earth around its own axis, all over the world, all countries had the opportunity to observe this great and beautiful spectacle. And really impressive because of Geminids, they send their meteors constantly without any stop. For example, Perseids, you have to wait. They come in 1 minute, 2, 3, and then you are waiting for many minutes while the next come. Here, Geminids, they constantly coming. So it's really impressive and interesting to observe them. What will be next year? First of all, those who miss Geminids, they will have chance to observe quadrantids. It is expected to be even more active meteor shower. At the same time, during last 2 years, it was not so active. So it will be at around the 4th of January. Occultations. Neptune will be occulted by the moon at our KITION Planetarium and Observatory for about 1 hour. So this is a picture before the moment of occultation. So maybe we will have chance to observe it. Weather usually in August is very good. Covering of Pleiades by the moon returning. This happened due to node period of the moon movement every 18 years and 18.6 years. So let's say every 19 years. So the moon finally goes so close to Pleiades that it starts covering it, and then it will return back. So the last time it was around 2006. So this is morning occultation, or when the moon will come on the background of Pleiades, and this is evening. At evening, we will observe it on 19th of October and on 13th of December. So all over the world, during the year, we will have such opportunity to observe this. These dates are for Cyprus. If you live at other places, check by yourself. But this picturesque and exciting phenomenon when the moon is among Pleiades is really possible to observe and take pictures. So be ready. Bright comets. This picture of already bright comet, enough bright because of this is Vega, and the comet was in the field of view, in the same field of view as Vega on 3rd of December, just recently. And it is periodic comet, Pons-Brooks, and it will be brighter even, and will be visible, we expect visible by naked eye, just next to total solar eclipse. During total solar eclipse, the comet will be next to the eclipse sun in 25 degrees next to it. So if you have wide camera, and there is chance that you will see it as well. So that's what could be at this eclipse. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm eating bread of our next guest speakers, but just a bit. Okay, we don't expect it very, very bright. At perihelion, it will be on 25th of April. It should be 4.5 brightness. And another comet, it just was discovered recently by two observatories in China and Atlas Observatory. Period is not known, but it should be no less than few millions of years. So it still look like a dot, a bit because of its comet. It's not completely dot, but still dot. So is that how it looks now? But it will expected to be very picturesque. It should achieve brightness 0, so it should be very bright comet at the end of the next year at around 12th of October, when it will be closest to the Earth. At the same time, it will be very close to the sun, just 3 degrees near it. So actually it's like Mercury. Mercury is bright, but when it is bright, it's next to the sun. Then it becomes dim and goes farther. So it will be challengeable to observe it, but here we are. So that's the general review about what to expect next year and what was this year.
And we have to mention that we are expecting a total solar eclipse in April.
No, I leave it for our guest speakers.
So we have with us our friends and colleagues, as I mentioned earlier, Raul, Professor Raul Perez-Enriquez and Professor Julio Saucedo from University of Sonora in Mexico. Dear guests and friends, the stage is yours. You may decide yourself who wants to start first, who wants to follow. You want to do it together, you are more than welcome.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation. I would like to present two special events we are going to have, and data to give time to make a profound explanation of one of them. I will left Julio Saucedo if it is okay. The main issue of my presentation is precisely to talk about two special events that will be taking place in this year. It will be it will be the solar eclipse in 2024 that will cover, sorry, the 4 is missing here, but it is going to cover around these places in Mazatlan, Durango, Torreón, Monclova, that are nearby here to Hermosillo, where we are located now. We are going to talk about this April event for 8th of April, that this is going to happen. And but first, let me talk about the other event that we are going to place. Is the inauguration of the Monumental Antikythera mechanism for Hermosillo, that is going to be taking place in the 8th of February of this year, this 2024. And for that, let me tell you that we are a team that has been working in this project around next to 3 years right now. And for the moment of the inauguration, we'll have this participation of these institutions. Unison is Universidad de Sonora, with Julio Saucedo and myself, Raul Perez-Enriquez. In Relojes Olvera Tercera Generación, that is a specialized company that makes clocks, monumental clocks in the city of Zacatlán, Puebla, Mexico. And the participants are Alfredo Carmona Martinez y José Clemente Olvera Trejo. And for the participation of this project has a contribution important from the National and Capodician University of Athens, that is incorporated in the person of Professor Xenofón Musas. All this project has been supported by the Governor of Sonora, Dr. Alfonso Durazo Montaño, and has the project manager, Ezequiel Rodriguez Jauregui. All this team has been working for months, for these months I mentioned, and have already constructed what can be understood as a mechanical and continuous dance of the heavenly bodies of ancient world, an eclipse prediction based on the Antikythera mechanism. And as I say, it will be inaugurated next February in the campus center of Unison, Universidad de Sonora. Also, next April, an important astronomical event will take place along several states of our country. The total solar eclipse of 2024. And then I will talk about these important events, and I will take some few minutes to relate the prediction of eclipses done in the past, not only in the Saros cycle by the Greeks that are incorporated in the Antikythera mechanism, but also about the table of eclipses of the Dresden Codex, that is a pre-Hispanic document that incorporates the knowledge of the Maya about this phenomena, this astronomical phenomena. To begin, I will say that the monumental Antikythera mechanism for Hermosillo is is 10 times bigger than the Antikythera mechanism as known as the original was, as the vestiges of the mechanisms that are in the Archaeological Museum of Athens. This is 10 times greater, and this is in a phase of construction. You can see the spirals here below, and the front page in the process of work, and with the axis and all the points where the gears are going to be put. Let me take you for a small trip around this monumental Antikythera mechanism that it is already installed in the University of Sonora, in the central place of the University of Sonora. This is the Antikythera mechanism. As you can see, it's a size of around 4 meters high. The particular part of the Antikythera mechanism is 330 meters high, and as you can see, all the planets are represented, all the visible planets. That's because that's why we say the ancient world, because it's the moon, the Earth at the center, and the moon, and the 5 planets known with its orbits. The moon has 2 sides with the colors, and the sun represented here it follows its real movement around the Earth as it is seen from the Earth. You can see here in the right side part of the mechanism, you can see this monumental clock that was fabricated by Reloj Olvera, and it's presented in the way that it has 24 hours, graduated in 24 hours. 1 hour in this, 1 day in this clock represents 1 degree in the 360 degrees of the circumference in the part, but it is only 1 day, in the 360 days, 65 days. This part are presenting the couple between the Antikythera mechanism and the monumental clock. This is fabricated in order that a turn, it's very easy to turn all the whole mechanism in the same motion that it is presented that way. This is the pointer of the date, which follows the year and is related with the advances of this part of the mechanism. In the gears, you can see all the gears that will be shown to the public, and all the people can go there. And this is part of the importance of the mechanism, that all the people and the teachers and all students can see the gears and make the vision of how this works. This has 2 spirals, and one of the spirals is for the eclipses. And all the eclipses are represented in a saddle cycle, and you can see here how the mechanism makes the calculations for the movement of the 29.5 days in each division.
Raul,
have
we don't see the image.
The months.
Sorry to interrupt.
This is part of the mechanism that shows the gears for each planet.
Raúl,
These
George
3
te
are
quiere decir
for
algo.
the planets and exterior planets, and this is for the 2 interior planets. 1 gear of 223 teeth, and this is for the exterior planets, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. This is the Antikythera mechanism, the monumental Antikythera mechanism. This is the front view. You can see here, as I mentioned, the planets around the Earth and the moon in the first part. The moon is 2-sided because of the color, and rounds around and make the faces of the moon. The faces of the moon can be seen as it moves towards the sun and far from the sun. one thing that is important in this representation of the planets is that all the planets make its orbit as seen from the Earth. This means that has the epicycles included to see two circles, and then makes the retrograde motion of the planet obvious presented. All the planets make the orbit, but with the retrograde motion as it is seen from the Earth. This has two rings. This ring, the exterior ring here, is for the calendar, and the interior ring is for the zodiac, where the constellations are. Are the Egyptian constellations all the constellations we know now? Excuse me, the Babylonian constellations, the Aquarius, Pisces, and Taurus, etc., etc. This is the constellations, and then you can see the sun in which part of the sky is as the same as all the planets as they are in the real world. This is the ancient world view. That's why I say the dance of the planets. This is the Antikythera mechanism monumental clock that supports the movement, gives the motion for the mechanism, and this is a clock constructed by also by Relojes Olvera and donated by them, and has a 24 hours because only one day round here is only one day here in the calendar pointer. Then this calendar pointer goes through 365 days. Can you? Oh, no, it's okay. Are you hearing?
Yes.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let me see this part. Is the posterior part is the dial of the behind, and in this case, well, this is the part of the team and the workers of Relojes Olvera that fabricated the mechanism and constructed and installed here in Hermosillo.
But this is actually my presentations. I will talk about a little bit about eclipses, meteors, and about just the pictures that I will probably don't say anything about the monumental Antikythera mechanism because already Raul talked about it. But anyway, eclipses, everyone knows about how a solar eclipse occurs. Of course, the moon has to be in the way, and whereas a lunar eclipse, we have the moon, the Earth, which is in the middle of well, somewhere, and total eclipse of the moon are like this. All the pictures I will show you is pictures I've taken or my group. So basically, this is what we know about how eclipses happen. In the case of solar eclipses, total and annular eclipses, and I will show you some of these that I have taken all throughout the years. This is the first eclipse I observed was in 1989, and so I'm the one in the grass there, you know, talking, watching the eclipse with this soldier's cap, and here we have a refractor, antique refractor, and we took these pictures in 1989, and this is this photographs came in this paper, was published on March the 8th of 1989. So in 1991, this is a big eclipse that we had in Mexico, which lasted almost 7 minutes. And yes, my picture is the one on the right, and the team picture of the astronomy area of my university is the one on the left. So this is the first total eclipse that I actually saw. And then I also saw the 2008 in Russia, in Siberia. This is the equipment that we had. We observed with some Ukrainians. And so these are pictures about the different phases of the totality of, and from the University of Sonora, I went with Luis Alfonso Dominguez, who passed away last year. I'm very sorry about that. But anyway, we observed this with these guys from Ukraine. And I have a YouTube about this. It's a very long one. It lasts 1 hour and 38 minutes. And I send you the this PowerPoint file. You can see all these addresses of some of the YouTubes that I have done. So this covers a lot of about astronomy and also cultural relation we have with them, And so the annular eclipse of 2012, we observed in Anasazi region in Arizona, Shelly Canyon, with the University of Sinaloa. So this is 2 universities. And so these are the pictures I took on August the 20th of 2012. This is an annular eclipse. And of course, we also have, this is a beautiful place, by the way, if you ever come. This is Shelly Canyon, and this is actually, it's called the White House ruin, Anasazi ruin, It's right where we were observing, and then on 2014, we observed the partial solar eclipse, with a huge solar spot, that is there. A very big group. It was very nice. And this is also from part of with the university telescope. We have a solar observatory, and we observe this with the solar observatory, and this one I observe with my telescope. So anyway, this is 2017 is the last solar eclipse I saw, and this is actually from the group. Now, I didn't take this one. It was taken by a professional photographer of the corona, and then this is his own picture of the ring, and then this is a picture I took where you see the planets. You can see Mars was close to the sun. You can see the corona here, and then nearby is the Mars, and then in the corner down there is Venus, much brighter. So I took this with a 14mm lens. And then one of the things which I emphasize when you go to see a solar eclipse, you should observe also at night, So these pictures I took during the night, and the Milky Way and stuff, beautiful stuff. This is exactly where we were sitting at the observation. You can see Taurus and the Pleiades and so on, And so this is part of the team. We have it's a team of Mexicans, a couple of Americans, and then there were one person from Russia, and the one in the middle is from Mongolia, who joined us for this observation. And so these are the team that for that observation. Notice that I made these t-shirts, and in the back I put the Dresden Codex for the eclipses. That's what part of the Dresden Codex is on the back of the t-shirt. And then the annular eclipse that just happened a few months ago, in October the 14th, I took in this place. It's a beautiful pyramid. Etna is called this pyramid. So I observed there, and these are just some of the pictures I took a few, month and a half ago, or a couple of months ago. And we observe in visible and also in H alpha. You can see on the right is the H alpha, and visible on the left. And also at the university, in where I am, where Raul and I are from, it was only going to be partial, but I wanted to show you this this is the main building of the university. And notice these projected images. And this was done by my students. We did many mirrors with the stands, and these were projected by those things. I will show you about that. And then what comes after is the 2024 total solar eclipse, and this will be very interesting to watch. So this is actually April the 8th, right? And so this will be 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes and 28 seconds. And this is the path of totality. It starts in the continent in Mazatlan. It's a tourist place, you know, beach, beautiful beach, very famous, and then goes to several cities, Durango, Torreon, and Piedras Negras. But I'm planning to go to NASA's, which is the place for the greatest eclipse. Is where the center of the sun going through the center of the moon, and it goes through this center of the earth, exactly on that particular spot, which is the GE. Okay, this is the greatest eclipse. So it will be close to Torreon, but a little bit to the southwest. You know, a little bit not too far from Torreon. That's where I'm planning to go. Most people are planning to go to Mazatlan, and some other people are going to Torreon because those are large cities. So, well, it's an interesting. And also, I wanted to talk to you about an eclipse which is going to happen, a very important one, which is going to happen in 2027. And this is the place, the greatest duration, greatest eclipse is going to happen near Luxor in Egypt, August 2, 2027. It will be the longest duration of totality, 6 minutes and 23 seconds for the rest of the 21st century. So I invite you to go there. I hope to go back there if I am in this planet. I will certainly plan to go there. And I wanted to tell you that this is the place where I met in 2011 Dr. Zeno von Musas. We were there on a solar physics conference, and so this will happen just by chance that it's going to be in Luxor. It's 2027. Okay, and also just 2 years prior to the eclipse of 2024, I went with my son and my wife. We went to NASA's, to this place, and I took this picture. It was kind of cloudy, you can see, but you can still see part. This is actually the center of the Milky Way. It is just to the left of the picture. And you can see Scorpion to the right and Sagittarius to the left, you know. So I hope that this will be a great place. It's a dark place, not severely dark, but it's good enough to get good shots. Hopefully, if we have less clouds, it will be better the picture, you know. So, and also, of course, Pons Brooks is also very promising, as we already heard. This is actually for if anyone is interested in coming to Mexico, this is, or to the US, or maybe even Canada, this information gives you an idea. So this is what I was telling you: Mazatlan, Durango, NASA's Durango, which is the third line, is 4 minutes 27 seconds. That's where the greatest eclipse is going to happen. And at the times also it begins at 1:15 and ends at 2:39. So if you plan to come, if you know anyone interested in coming, just let me know and we will see how we can help. Okay. And okay, so this already, I will just show you pictures very fast, you know, how this is the top of the Capello. Okay, and we were moving it. And this is actually, I was checking because they told us we could move the whole thing just by hand, so that you can see everything is in balance and everything. This is going to be moved, of course, by the Monumental clock, which is here. And And so I will not say much about this. This is actually the Saros, and also with the inscriptions of H is the sun, sigma is for the moon. And so this supposedly are in these squares, which are actually 223 squares, each one representing a synodic month, and this, if you multiply those two numbers, 29.53 times 223 gives you 18 years, 11 months, and 8 hours. And this is the carátula also for the little one, is for the excellimos. And so I already, this is just a view of the side view where you can see the gears. You know, it's actually interesting to watch that, so that many years. And so anyway, I go now to meteors, okay? I'm fond of taking pictures of meteors, and some of them are very long and you know, not very bright, but very interesting to see. So this is actually from Orion, and those, so you will see several meteors that I have taken. I try to follow the motion of the Earth, you know, so that we see the points here. So these are pictures that I've taken in the past. Some of them represent our desert, like this, for instance, to the left, you know. And so anyway, this is actually a comet, New Wise, and you can see a couple of meteors there on top of this. And so these are actually now, okay, this is actually, let me go to the more recent ones. We were not really interested in the meteor itself, in the shower itself. We were studying actually a little dot here, which is supposed to be for Vesta, you know, the asteroid, which is the parent body of 3 very famous meteorites. So we were studying the Vesta, but in the same field, we saw several meteors, and that's why you see them with the same inclination. Okay, and also some of them left traces, smoke traces. So this one to the right is actually this. We made it on purpose to capture Venus, which is very close to the horizon, next to the. So this is actually what I wanted to tell you. Okay, one more thing about what you saw on the wall about this projection of the sun, where you can see the eclipse. Of course, this is very well known that how to, with a pinhole, how you can form an image. Of course, this is a actual representation of an eclipse that happened in 1545, you know, by Gemma Frisius. But the thing is that you can do the same physics, the same optics using mirrors. And this is actually something very, very interesting. Anyone can use a mirror. You know, ladies use this kind of round mirrors. If they are small enough, or, you know, if the wall is far enough, that screen will project the image of the sun. And that's the idea, okay? So basically, I'm here with showing you this device, which is wood, is a stand made of wood, and then a little mirror. Actually, there are two versions, one big one, another small one. And this, we made several of them, you know, when my students, astrophysics, the 3, I asked them to do several of these to share with the schools and some other places that were interested in observing the eclipse. And we did them for free, actually, you know, so with whatever expense it was paid by myself. But I found people very helpful that helped me to get, you know, with all mirrors, and we formed these squares and so on. You know, there are many things involved in this, but at the end, the idea is that the formation of the image goes to little mirror and then forms the image on the screen. Okay, basically this is the optics of that. If you can do this within a room, for instance, of course you will have better contrast and will have a better image, but it's not really required. You can do it in any wall, actually, for any kind of solar eclipse. And so I have a YouTube also, which you will see here, if you how to make it and how to use it. This is a short, I think it's a 3 minutes or something like that, YouTube. And the first time I tried this, I formed this image 50 meters away from the mirror, and you can see it gives you a half a meter sun over there. Of course, that was not an eclipse. Simply we had an event for students for outreach, science outreach, and so we did that. And then I think the last one, I hope is there. The last one is related to, I guess I forgot to put it actually, but my intention was at least to present the one to, I think I showed you before. Yeah, I think I showed you before that wall with the,
Yes.
which was formed by several of these little mirrors actually. When I was talking about that, let me go back to this. Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so each one of these, it was a mirror, a little mirror, which was about probably 45 meters or so, something like that. And it works really nice, okay? I wanted to tell you that, this message, and this is actually something which is, so many people can see it, and it really costs almost nothing, you know? So if you have any questions, this is what I want to say, and about any of the things that I talk today at this moment, please.
Well, thank you very much, Raul and Julio. Very interesting presentations, and I would love to go to NASA and this pyramid, and hopefully, I hope we can arrange and visit you in Mexico for the total solar eclipse. For sure, we are planning to go in Egypt, Luxor.
Yes, maybe we can meet
there.
there.
It's very close to us.
Yes.
And we were planning it, but we were also planning to visit Mexico or Spain last time, but we didn't manage. So let's hope that we will manage to visit you, because it's a great experience. And I can confess that I observed back in Cyprus in the year 2009, 2010, when was it? 97% of eclipse of totality, and it was totally different than 100% totality. 100% totality is something magical, something that cannot be described if you don't get the feeling. It's something that really touches you as a person, and it can cause, if not fear, at least a rise of adrenaline.
Yeah.
And the experience with the surrounding, the wind, the birds flying, and the total temperature, and everybody being excited about this, it's really impressive. So if someone has the chance to visit any place where a totality will occur, it's going to be once in a lifetime experience, but the next one is still going to be once in a life experience. So everyone is a different one, and
Yes.
it's good when we observe in especially those UNESCO protected sites that you showed, Julio, because it's good to remember also our ancestors and those who really started studying astronomy and developing astronomy in those years. And we're proud of them as well. So, guys, from the audience, do we have any questions? Anyone wants to visit Mexico?
Yes.
Mexico, yeah?
Mexico, yes. You'll be welcome, Svetlana. Yes.
I like this concept with small mirror and image of the sun on the screen. When
It's good for the outage, Alexander, for schools, yes. it's good
Yes,
idea.
when I was in school, something like the 6th, the 7th year form school, so something like that. I practiced with it by myself, so I found out that does matter which shape is mirror, the image is always round. Was my own discovery at that time. So I play with it. And now I
Yeah.
know that it's not always when I do it with solar eclipse.
I think the only phase in which probably wouldn't work is on totality, you know?
Yes,
And that's exactly when you don't need any device, you know?
Yes.
So for anything else, it should work, you know? That's the best I can tell you.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And it costs probably less than any kind of things that they sell, you know? And normally those things you have to pay, you know, some companies very expensive prices, and governments try to get hundreds of thousands or no, I don't know, millions of them. And it's just giving money away when you can actually do this and then explain to them, to the people, you know, while they are looking at the image of the sun, you know, what is going on, you know. So for a large groups, you know, hundreds of people you can have and explain with a microphone or something, you know, it's something really amazing.
Galileo didn't have this type of equipment when he observed the sun, for sure.
Yes, but he
So
paid
he
the
used
price,
something
you know?
more clever.
He paid the price.
Yes, of course. He
Mhm.
paid the price for that, yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Raul,
Yes.
do you want to add something? Thank you very much for your presentation.
Oh, sorry for
And no, don't worry.
the video,
I'm
but
in love with your mechanism.
it was I wanted to present a video, but it looks like my presentation was not okay.
We saw the pictures later, yes. But what Julio showed us is really impressive. The new construction, and also you made the sun with more detail, and it looks nice. And also it's a state-of-the-art construction, and it's shining bright, you know, it's new, and it's really impressive, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Where I want to only to, before concluding, to say that we are going to have the inauguration around the 8th of February, 2 months before the 8th of April.
So on the Saros spiral, there will be 2 squares left before the eclipse.
Yes, that's part. Yes, it is. It is going to be two spaces before the eclipse. We have already put in that orientation, and in this part of the presentation, where the inauguration is going to be happen in a beautiful month here in Hermosillo, where not all is hot, it's more cold. And if you want to come to Hermosillo to visit the place and to know the mechanism in life, well, you are welcome to come.
Then we need to come twice, in February and April.
No, you can just come once, you know, just come for the inauguration and then
Stay.
You stay
you
here.
get to know Mexico in 2 months, you know, you will know so much about Mexico. More than most Mexicans, you know, so it will be great.
We
you
will
know.
stop the time here, we will freeze time and space,
Yes,
time,
that's right.
please. And we will.
Oh, Mexico is so beautiful that you will spend, 2 months. Those will be the 2 months of your life. It's really amazing. Really. And one thing I wanted to say is that we almost, in greatest part, the work of Xenophon Musas.
Yes.
And
I invited him.
yes.
I don't know. He had some problem with.
In fact,
he
I'm
made
not talking
another
just.
profile.
I'm not talking just about this replica of the mechanism, this monumental replica. I'm talking the knowledge about the mechanism itself, because he was the one that convinced the Greek government that the studies of Dr. Fried, Dr. Fried acknowledged him that it was due to his resources or whatever that we know so much about it thanks to those investigations, that are very well known, So
I spent hours with Mr. Dr. Xenophon Musas in the museum in Athens.
yes,
He explained it to me, showing it there. And also some curator, they said, you're not allowed to come too close. You're not allowed to talk too much here. He said, I'm George, Mr. Dr. Xenophon Musas, who was there. Well, we apologize. So they left us alone, and we discussed about it. And he also showed some other antiquities that they have. The circle and the dots in the middle, like this. Let me see if I can.
No,
let me see.
You have the.
I have the background. Yes, let me.
You have the background. Then it is not working.
Let me. Okay, this one, which it's actually showed that this means that there's star. This is they used to use this in pots, in pottery, in amphora to describe the stars. So he explained that to me, and he making more research on that. He's excellent. I don't know why I called him in the last couple of days. He did not reply, but I realized now there's another profile. Most probably it was lost, and he made a new one. I will call him on the mobile tomorrow to check out. But
yes,
he's always here and very responsive, always by my side. Anything we want to ask about the mechanism or any other thing or any other research is always by our side. He's supporting, he's helping, he's advising, and he's always a good friend also. And we spend lots of time together when he comes to Cyprus or when I go to Greece.
Yes, I also like to say that for us is such an important thing, not only for astronomy or for science, but for culture in general, for a way of to commemorate Greek science and technology and achievements in culture in general. So this is actually something that we are trying to convey to people, that this is a very important contribution in the history, not only of science, but history of culture.
Intercultural, yeah.
Exactly. So we have several. I was just outside with a group of people that came. So we will have this all the time, So this will be known throughout here in Mexico, I'm sure, and you are also welcome to come anytime you can. So you will be welcome here.
Pleasure, our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, anyone wants to add something, to ask? Thank you very much. We have Yanagi Sioanu saying good night to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
We always learn from you.
Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Season's greetings. And those in the North Hemisphere, feel the cold. Those in the Southern Hemisphere, feel the heat. I guess in Australia now they are having, they are on the beach, waiting for Santa Claus on the beach. So let's meet on Tuesday, 30th of January, same time, and we will see what we will announce soon, what we will present. Yeah, anyone who is interested in presenting something, please contact us. You are more than welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Bye.
you very much. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias a ti.
Hasta luego.